What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. As always, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for all of your Lakers and NBA talk. And the Los Angeles Lakers want the Sacramento Kings in the first round of the playoffs. Yes, they're positioning themselves to try to get that sixth seed so that they can guarantee a first round matchup with the inexperienced Sacramento Kings. And they like their chances to beat the Kings in the first round and advance into the later rounds of the NBA playoffs. That's the story that's making a lot of headlines today because Brian Windhorst went on ESPN this morning and basically said just that, right? LeBron could have had season-ending surgery on his foot. He decided to put that off because he sees a pathway towards potentially the NBA Finals, and that path includes facing the Kings in the first round. Now, a lot of people may think that that's just clickbait, that it's just false narrative, that Brian Windhorst is just, mustering up a fake storyline to sensationalize this part of the NBA season and whatnot. But I gotta say, in my opinion, I think he's speaking straight facts here. Because when you take a look at the Western Conference standings, there are a few teams there that you do not want to face in the first round. And especially if you're the Lakers, right? You have the Phoenix Suns, a team that the Lakers have had a very poor record against in recent years. And now they've added Kevin Durant. So in my eyes, they're the favorites to win the whole thing. You definitely don't want to face them in the first round. Then you have the Clippers, a team, yes, Paul George is hurt right now and his availability in the first round is in question. But again, this is another team that the Lakers have struggled with in recent years. Their record against the Clippers is quite poor, almost on the Phoenix Suns level, right? So you want to avoid them as well. And then you have the Golden State Warriors, the recent reigning NBA champions, with all of this championship experience in Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Kevon Looney, Andre Iguodala. I don't know about Iguodala, how effective he is, but he does bring a lot of experience. That whole squad is full of championship experience, so you definitely want to avoid them in the first round as well. That leaves only a few teams, right? You have the Denver Nuggets, they're the number one seed. I'm going to give them their respect because they've been the best team in the West, the whole way this season. So I think you'd rather not face them, especially because you're playing in Denver and that altitude can kill you. And then you have the Grizzlies and the Kings. These are probably the two teams that you want to face the most if you're the Lakers because they're young, they're unproven. Memphis, that group has more playoff experience, obviously. But still, they're not world beaters. No one's picking them to make it to the NBA Finals. And then you have the Sacramento Kings, a team that is going to make the playoffs for the first time since 2006, I believe. So it's been 17 years since this city has seen playoff basketball. So a lot of their guys are very inexperienced when it comes to the playoffs. Their best player, De'Aaron Fox, never tasted playoff basketball. I think the only guy that really has legitimate experience is Harrison Barnes, and he left Golden State in 2016. I don't know how many times he's made the playoffs since then. So this is a very inexperienced team, and I think Windhorst is right on the money. The Lakers do want the Kings. I, as a Laker fan, I would want the Kings too. Call me a hater, call me someone who's not a believer in the Sacramento Kings group, call me full of shit, whatever you want, but they're the team that I do want to face in the first round because their defense is, 24th in the league. They've actually upped it from 26th to 24th in recent weeks. So, good on them, but still a bottom six defense in the NBA. That doesn't bode well for the Sacramento Kings. And I know a lot of Kings fans are, telling me regular season and playoff basketball, there's no difference. The game is the game. No, you're showing your lack of experience at watching playoff basketball when you say things like that, because the game definitely slows down. It definitely turns more into a half-court basketball game. You have a 7-game series where Team A is putting all of their scouting, putting all of their energy into game planning against Team B and vice versa. So all of your strengths and weaknesses are going to come to the forefront, and these two teams are going to get to know each other really well. So I think the inexperience of the Kings is really going to be a challenge for them to get past the first round. I don't expect them to get past the first round, even if it's not the Lakers that they're facing, because they could be facing a Warriors team. You're going to pick the Kings to beat the Warriors in the first round? I don't think so. So, from that perspective, and no disrespect to the Kings, maybe this is disrespectful to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. I want the Sacramento Kings in the first round if the Lakers have an opportunity to get that sixth seed. That's a big if, though, right? I think these past two games against the Chicago Bulls, they're not really filling me to the brim with confidence in this team. I mean, I do feel a little bit better now that this Lakers starting five is solidified, right? I think the starting five that we saw in this last game at Chicago, that's going to be the starting five the rest of the way here. D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reeves, LeBron, Jared Vanderbilt, and AD. I think that is going to be, finalized now at this point. No more tinkering from Darvin Ham. We're going to roll with this for the rest of the way here. So from that perspective, you feel a little bit better if you're a Lakers fan. But I mean, up and down performances, whatever, what have you, it's not a guarantee. It's far from a guarantee that the Lakers are going to end up with the sixth seed. So this might be a moot point anyway. But let's just entertain the thought of a Lakers-Kings first-round matchup, which, as a Lakers fan of a certain age, that's a very tasty matchup for me because I have very fond memories of 2002. Okay. On the other side, there was Sacramento. That's their worst memory, and I know that a lot of Kings fans are still haunted by, that series, and they're gonna think about Tim Donaghy in Game 6. Well, I choose to think about Robert Ory's game-winning three. I choose to think about Peja Stojakovic wide open in the corner in Game 7. I'd like to think about Doug Christie hitting nothing but backboard on a wing three, Vlade Divac fouling out, and the entire Kings team, being absolute shit at the free throw line in Game 7. At home, in your own home gym, and you just shit the bed like that. That brings, very warm and fuzzy memories for me as a Lakers fan. I'm sure a lot of Kings fans, if you're watching, you're cussing me out. You want to punch the air or whatever. But it is what it is. The game is the game. So let's just entertain the thought of a Lakers Kings first round matchup, and I want to give an argument to why I think the Lakers have the edge over the Kings team that has had a tremendous regular season. Let's give them their credit. Number one offense in the league, which is tremendous. I think they're going to break the record for offensive rating in a regular season. I believe right there at 119.6. That's an obscene number. So they can definitely score the ball, but they are 24th in defense at this moment. Bottom 6 defense in the league. That's a giant red flag. Okay, if you're a Kings fan, okay, you have to be a little bit nervous at that. But there are two other stats here that I think are going to loom very large in this potential matchup. The first one being free throw rate. The Lakers are number one in the league at getting to the line. They're averaging 26.7 free throw attempts per game, which is top. On the flip side, they are only giving up 21 free throws a game, which is second best. Okay? Now, I know the Kings, they get to the free throw line quite well themselves, right? They're they're fourth in the league at free throw attempts and ninth in the league at free throw attempts conceded. So they're doing well themselves, but the disparity. There was a graphic that I've seen on social media with the Lakers are like plus 400 in free throw attempts throughout the regular season, which is absurd. And this is a team that is not reliant on the three-pointer, right? Been a dog shit shooting team this entire season. They're only 26th in the league at three-point percentage. They're only 26th in the league at three-point attempts. So they're not really chucking it up from beyond the arc, right? So that tells me that this is a team that tries to attack the basket. That is their main bread and butter. And if you do that, that is going to pay huge dividends, especially in the playoffs, because you're going to get whistles. The more aggressive team oftentimes wins basketball games in the playoffs. And you could win a series at the charity stripe if you're the Lakers. Contrast that with the Sacramento Kings. They are heavily reliant on the three ball, right? And they shoot it really well. I mean, they're ninth in the league at three-point shooting at 37.2%, which is great. And they're seventh in the league at three-point attempts per game, 37 attempts per game from the 3-point line. So that tells me this is a team that is heavily reliant on outside shooting. And when it comes to the playoffs, when it comes to those nervous moments, in crunch time in a playoff series, they may turn into a jump shooting team. Are they going to be able to knock down, outside shots when there's everything riding on it? If the history of the Sacramento Kings tells you anything, the answer is an emphatic no. But I'm not gonna put those things on this new Kings roster, right? Who knows? They might light it up from three. Kevin Huerter, when he was with the Atlanta Hawks, he had a really good series for them against I think it was Philly, right? He had a couple of 30-point performances coming off the bench, I believe, for the Hawks, or maybe he was starting, but he has playoff experience. I guess that's another guy on this Kings roster that does have playoff experience, which is a boost for them. But I'm looking at one team that is a jump shooting team, relatively inexperienced, and they might die by the three against a Lakers team who is way more aggressive at trying to get points in the paint, at attacking the rim. And I think that favors the Lakers. And, this kind of leads me on to my last thing that I want to bring up in this video, which has to do with LeBron James. LeBron James returning to action, this past week. 2 games under his belt so far. A 19-point performance and a 25-point performance. So, it's not like he's a crippled version of himself. He's still very effective. And the thing that I would love to see LeBron James do going forward is post up. I'm of the opinion that LeBron is the best low post player on this Lakers roster, which might, seem like a kind of a weird statement because we have Anthony Davis and he's, one of the most talented big men in the league. Definitely isn't the best big man in the league at this moment, right? You got to give the nod to several guys ahead of him. Jokic, Embiid, Giannis, being a few of the names there. But one of the most talented bigs. And despite that, I think LeBron is the best low post player on this Lakers team. For a number of reasons, right? He handles double teams better than Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis, in my opinion, is actually quite poor at handling double teams, right? Soon as the opposition sends another guy, he's looking to get rid of it like hot potato. Well, LeBron, he doesn't do that, right? He's very used to being double teamed, so he can scan the floor. He's obviously a better passer than Anthony Davis, has better court vision than AD. So him on the low block, if he does invite a double team, that's more often than not going to lead to a good look for another teammate than if it were Anthony Davis doing the same thing. LeBron James, also when he's posting up, he's going up against other wing players, right? And wing players are way less used to defending in the low post in this modern NBA than big men. So he is going to have an advantage there. He's probably going to have a size advantage, a strength advantage. And when LeBron posts up, I like him, I like his aggression at getting to the rim. And when that happens, he either scores or he gets fouled. So that adds to the free throws accumulated for the Lakers team. So I would love to see LeBron James go on the low block a lot more the rest of the way here. We saw glimpses of that, in that Dallas game, right? When he hurt his foot, right? He had to resort to actually being a low post player, but he was very effective in that game on the low block. And we've seen, several moments since he's returned against the Bulls, operating in that low post position, which led to, buckets for him, a foul, a trip to the free throw line, or a good look for a teammate. So I would love to see LeBron post up a lot more moving forward, and I hope that Darvin Ham integrates that more and more into the offense going forward. But case in point, I think the Lakers, I would fancy our chances against the Sacramento Kings in the first round. Let me know if you think I'm full of shit. Let me know why you think I'm wrong or if I'm right. If you think I'm a salty Lakers fan, a hater, let me know why. If you're a Kings fan, defend your team and do you like your chances against the Lakers in a first round matchup? I'm sure you're flying high right now, right? Light the beam. I don't know what the fuck that means, but that's the catchphrase for the Sacramento Kings. I'm sure you're in this euphoric state at finally making the playoffs, but I I think it's going to come to a crashing end. Either at the hands of the Lakers or another more experienced team that plays better defense than the Kings. So that's all I got. Let me know your thoughts on all of this. There's 6 games left in the regular season. It's crunch time. We're getting down to it, and then playoff basketball is here. So that's all I got on this one. Thank you for watching. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel for all of your NBA talk. Take care, and I will see you soon.